So, how much time has it been since Mahindra R&D started up?
It's about 2 years.
And how has the experience been with setting up the R&D division?
The experience has been very good. In fact, when we moved in about 2 years back, we had the Stalio, the slight setback on the Stalio. We had put in the Stalio and we had observed that there were some problems related to the methodology in which we decided to operate the model, right? But the best part is that even after 2,000 vehicles, when we started getting the trickle in of the feedback, we decided that we should not go ahead, because Mahindra brand stands for many things, and we decided we should not move ahead with the vehicle. We should go back to the drawing board, understand what are the shortcomings, correct it, and then re-enter the market. And that's how we entered inside, and we felt that we should start developing our own engines, manufacture our own engines, and it would not be possible to outsource either technology or engines. So we put in a team. Right, probably started setting up the R&D, put in a team and worked on the 110cc engine, which is essentially the Stalio engine, worked on this engine. But we said that if you're starting the engine, why not look at it completely afresh? So we defined, right, power and torque which should be at least 10% better than competition, and started working on every aspect of it. Valve train, we've used the best roller rocker arm, the thin piston rings, the lower friction piston ring cylinder. We've used a patented oil lubrication system in our crankshaft. That's why we have a very high level of lubrication getting into our both crankshaft big end and our piston. So with this power and torque, right, we have found that the reliability of the engine is terrific. We have run several vehicles in the Coimbatore and Chennai racetrack, 2,000 laps continuous, and we have checked the engines, it's absolutely clean. We've done 600 hours test on the dynamometer on several engines. So I think from a validation point of view and a reliability point of view, we're extremely confident. And we've also used a bit of software tools, a lot of them in fact. If you find the exhaust beat, we worked on a lot of simulation on CFD and actually realized this exhaust beat. Worked also on the intake system. So I think in every area of the engine, right, we worked on every area of the engine to see that because we fully respect and understand what competition is in this segment, and unless we don't get our act in every segment and every area right, we knew that is going to be difficult. So to that extent, I think we are fairly satisfied with what we have achieved in the engine, because Pantro we put in 5,000 vehicles in the market. The feedback which we have received in respect of fuel efficiency, in respect of the performance, that's been very good from our dealers, and they are the first people who have to give us this feedback, because they were disturbed after the Stalio naturally, and the Pantro has given them a lot of confidence. We've spoken to a huge lot of customers who are also very happy with the engine performance of the Pantro, so that gives us the confidence that we are on the right track.
How much engineering has gone into from the Pantero stage to the Centuro?
From the Pantro stage to the Centuro, right, we worked actually on the valve train. We worked on certain areas related to valve train optimization. We worked on the certain areas related to intake system, because the filter and the carburation, right, arrangement is a little different in the case of Centro. So to bring in a certain peppiness, we've worked on certain areas, which is not large, but say about 5-7% in 2-3 areas. We worked between the Centro and the Pantro.
And whatever advantages the Centuro gets in terms of the final engineering will go back?
Definitely. As far as engine related, performance related, we will not hesitate to take it back to the Pantro. Styling related, like the wows, etc., we may not do it, because it's more marketing driven. At anything which is performance driven, we see no reason why the Pantro customer should get anything less than the Centro customer. We will do that.
Let's talk about the chassis of the Centuro, from the Stalio to the Pantero to the
right.
Centuro, chassis and cycle parts.
See, when we worked on the chassis of the Pantro, when we worked on the frame, we did the complete CAE of the frame. We did reduce about 1.2 kgs in the frame as compared to the Stalio. But in the construct of the frame, right, there's something on the ride and handling. On the suspension, right, we had a certain limitation, because in the rear suspension, ideally would have expected to increase the travel of the rear suspension. So since we had to get the Pantro, since it was an extension of Stalio, we did not get into too much of working on the Stalio and in the Pantro. Whereas in the Centro, what we essentially did was we increased the distance between the two suspension legs in the front, worked on the complete front suspension, took the center distance of the rear suspension up by about 10-12 mm, keeping the seat height same so that we can get a larger stroke. So if you see the right hand, we put a triple rating spring on the rear so that the complete suspension optimization is done with respect to maneuverability, with respect to ride and handling, and the rear suspension has fallen in place in this. So what happens is, even with three people with a deep bump, you find that the complete bump is absorbed by the rear suspension, by the change of this particular design of taking the center distance higher and also working on the spring rating of the rear suspension. The braking system also, naturally, I think this is thanks to the feedback of all the journalists who had given us when we wrote the Pantro about the bite in the front brake. So we took two actions after we got the feedback from the Pantro. One is, how do we improve the Pantro and the Centro as it is in the present braking system, which we did, where we actually changed the linkage, changed the drum panel, and we have actually increased the bite in the front brake. Others, of course, we've started the disc brake, and the disc brake will be ready in the next couple of months for commercial production. So that's something that our marketing can really decide whether they want to put it or not. But I think the first part of the feedback we have captured through the brake linkage and through the brake drum. And I think, what's your feedback today? You must have felt the difference.
I can talk about it. I'm not on a mic.
Right. So the difference in the bite is very clear. This is our internal V-Box feedback of brakes gives us this. So we are very happy that we have taken this feedback from the journalists in every event that happens. And two, we worked on it and we have brought back the vehicle which shows the correction. I think this is important that as we engage with experts, right, we should understand and collect this information and work on it. Otherwise, we'll be in our own cocoon.
So for the enthusiasts, the most exciting thing going on at Mahindra Two Wheelers is the Mojo. How's the work coming on the Mojo? What has been done? What's the plan?
It's coming on well. To tell you frankly, Mojo, we've collected a lot of feedback from the blogs, from the journalists, etc. There have been certain feedback which have trickled in certain areas of the product. So we thought, since any case we've been working on the engine, right from last year we delayed a bit, we'll also collect this feedback, factor in everything. And I think we are well on track on this project. We are quite in an advanced stage, and towards the end of the year, you must see the Mojo with the corrections which we have taken from each one of you and each from journalists, etc. We should see the Mojo right out by end of the year. We are working on it. In fact, several aggregates are at an advanced stage. We have validated it.
Have you written a prototype, or is the prototype still at?
Yes, we have. We have our boys. I have written is not very important because probably I don't go to that high speed. But definitely our expert riders who are working on it have taken it to high speed, etc. They are very excited. And we still have, we understand the responsibility in that segment, being a high-end, being a costlier segment. I think we are working on it so that we get it first time right. And
final question, sir. On the Centuro, a lot of the features that we are talking about, the wow features as you call them, are all electronics oriented. You think this is going to be a trend for Mahindra Two Wheelers, where the electronics will be a differentiating factor?
You see, the first point is, we realize that if we have to enter this space, we definitely have to differentiate and give better value to the consumer. So you can differentiate in the engine space, you can differentiate in the vehicle space, and you can also differentiate in the electronic space. But we found in the vehicle and the engine, we had certain limitations to demonstrate the differentiation, the disruptive nature of the product. Whereas in electronics, we found that it is possible for us to do. One, because we have a good electronics team. We have taken 5 patents. And 2, we can always go to our auto sector senior colleagues. We can take their help because XUV 500, there are so many features in that product, etc. So we said that we can confidently enter the electronics domain, which clearly differentiates the features to the consumer. And every feature adds value. I think all the 5 features which we have put, and where we have the patent, you will find that there's a definite value. We have done a cuff feedback for the last 2 months, and customer feels the wow. He is putting a certain price for the feature in his mind. What it is, we don't know. Different customers put different price points to it, but everyone realizes that there is a value add to this feedback. And 2, they also understand that this is technology which is not available with any two-wheeler in the market, and we are the first movers on all these 5 points, and we are very excited about it, excited about the fact that being the new kid in the block, we have been able to do this. We've been able to raise the excitement, and in a way the customer rises with these features. He feels happy about this product, and that gives us a lot of satisfaction.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. Right.